everyone, I'm Haley. You can find me on Instagram as Bitter Kitten Crafts, and I'm here with Boo, my cat. You can see her tail. Thanks for coming to my YouTube channel. I haven't posted a video in about a year, so I'm really happy to be back. I live in DC, I work at an art store here, we sell fine art supplies, and I like to knit and crochet and paint and draw, so hopefully I'll be able to incorporate all of that stuff on this channel. I'm really excited to be back in the YouTube world and making videos to show off what I've made. So we can start with what I'm wearing. This is the AquaMarLite by Park Williams, Park and Knit on Instagram. And it's knit out of single ply Madeline Tosh light, held double with like all my neon sock yarn scraps, and a couple of my friends' scraps too, because I ran out. So the main color that I held the whole way through, the dark green, it's called the Uncola. It's Madeline Tosh. And then I held it with, like all my little neon scraps, and then these are scraps too. So this project ended up using about 600 grams of yarn, which was awesome, because as you can see, I have like plenty of stash to kind of work through. So that was great. 2023, one of my big goals is to kind of winnow down my stash. I think a lot of us might have that goal right now. So this was kind of the start to that, and I'm really excited to keep going. And just for kind of specs, I knit the 4th size, but I knit it on 3 needle sizes down, because I really like a dense gauge. I wanted this sweater to be cozy and warm, and it really is. Like, I'm like sweating a little bit. It's really warm, so that was kind of exactly what I wanted. And I did cut it a little close on the green yarn, so my sleeves are cropped, which I like, because I do a lot with my hands. I'm always kind of working on stuff, so it's really nice for me to have like shorter sleeves, more mobility. Yeah. So that's enough about this sweater. Oh, I'll also show you, I'm wearing Katrinkle's earrings that I got at the Maryland Alpaca Festival, which was earlier this month in November. They're like laser engraved with a knitting pattern, which I think is super cool. So this is my most recent sweater FO. I finished it in October. And I can now get into my whips for November. I've been working really hard to finish this fingering weight sweater. So this is the Cozy Classic Light by Jessie Maed. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that I've knit like a million of her patterns. I knit so many of her patterns multiple times. This is my 4th Cozy Classic Light, my 2nd long sleeved one. And I just love like how straightforward her patterns are, how easy she is to understand in her writing, and I love like the simplicity of the designs, because I really like variegated and hand-dyed yarn, and her designs really show off kind of the variegation in a really good way. So this is, the Cozy Classic Light. I'm knitting the 4th size, and I got the yarn, this is KnitPicks Stroll Tweed, so it's a sock yarn, but I got it. This is going to be a $7 project, because this yarn is from the Creative Reuse Center here in Alexandria, Virginia, which is pretty close to my house. It's a craft thrift store, and they have so much wonderful yarn and supplies. So I got all of these yarns for $7, which was pretty cool. Oh, and I used up, obviously, a couple of them too. So great budget project, really cute pattern. I did like the decreases for the waist, so it'll be cinched, and I'm working my way down both sleeves right now. So I put this sleeve on hold because I haven't decided whether or not to kind of keep it like this length, the sleeves, or to go ahead and add the 2 extra stripes to make it all the way to my wrist. But right now I'm leaning towards keeping it like this, just to kind of save myself some time. But I do have plenty of yarn, so it wouldn't be really an issue. Whoever picked out these colors when they donated them, like, good job, because these colors look great together. I can't take credit for the color choice because I just bought all of the Stroll Tweed they had, which was $7 worth. So I can go ahead and put the colors in the description, but it's pretty much every shade of green in the Stroll Tweed, and then this is Oyster Heather, KnitPicks Stroll Tweed. Yeah, so really, really happy with this one. Hopefully I'll have it finished to wear for Christmas. But there's not too much else to say about it because it's just a pretty straightforward raglan design. It has these really pretty increases. So I highly recommend this pattern. Like I said, it's my fourth pattern, or my fourth time making this pattern. So when I make my end of year video of everything I've made in 2022, you'll definitely get to see the other two of the other Cozy Classic lights I've made, because this is my third in 2022. And I have yarn here to make the Cozy Classic Raglan, which is a DK weight version. So next up, I'll show you that in a minute. Don't want to get ahead of myself. Yeah, so that's this project. And I'm not doing anything to manage the striping in the back. I didn't do helical knitting. I didn't really do anything at all to manage the striping. You can see there's like a, I guess it's a hole right there. But it's not too bad. Like, it's not going to be noticeable, I think, when I kind of weave in my ends. Which I actually just weaved in the ends of this sweater literally so I could wear it in this video, so that's like a bit of a sore spot for me. As you can see, I have not woven in my ends from some of my other FOs of the year. That's okay, I'll get around to it. So that's my first whip. That's kind of been my big whip of the month. I've really been putting a lot of time into finishing this sweater. Maybe at the cost of finishing some of my gift knits. We'll have to see, because now it's December 1st, so I'm cutting it a bit close for myself, but that's okay. It happens. And I'll show you, I do have, my big gift knit is finished, so I'll show you that in a second. I have one more whip to show you first, which is the Untuva Slipover by Meiju P Knits. So I don't have a ton done. This is actually the second time I've made this pattern too. So it's a little vest. Actually, I can show you. So the first one's here. So it's mohair held double with fingering. And it's just like a really cute little slipover. This is knit in, this one is knit in the little Lionhead knits mohair. And then the little Foxes knits fingering, which was from my Advent in 2021. So I really love this project. I knit it like 8 months ago or so, and then I decided to cast on a second one, and it was a bit of an impulse cast on. I've kind of let it languish a little. This one is Olann fiber mill, single ply, held double, and then a third strand of mohair, which is the Farmer's Daughter, Mighty Mo, and Monarch. So it's making this really pretty rust color, which I was hoping to wear this for Thanksgiving, and then I kind of just like utterly abandoned it once I realized I wouldn't finish it in time for Thanksgiving, and I really focused on my green sweater instead. But that's okay. It'll get done, you know, I'm not too stressed. I have a ton of yarn to get it done, so that's not going to be an issue at all. One more whip to show you all, which is a sock. I'm sure a lot of you guys also are commuters where you're stuck in the metro. I have like a 45 or so minute commute to work every day. So usually I choose a sock project to kind of get me through my metro ride. And I've been working on these. So these are the Magic Heel Sock by Judy Jewel. She's the Autumn Acorn. And they are super, super easy. You don't have to do a heel flap or a gusset or a short row. There's nothing except ribbing for the heel. So it makes it super easy. All you need to do, sorry, I have mohair in my nose. All you need to do is knit and purl. And this is a Patton's Croy sock yarn from when I used to work at Joann. Just like a very basic, very durable sock yarn. Let me know in the comments below if you guys throw your socks in the washing machine, because I really do. They're like the one knit that I try to wear almost every day. I'm like really hard on them. I let them felt. I let them get washed and dried with all my regular clothes. And Patton's Croy has really held up for me. This is the one that's finished. But yeah, I've never had any issues with holes or my yarn getting destroyed. And I'm not gentle with them. So that's fun. Oh, and I'll show this bag. This is by AD Knits. I spilled coffee on it on my commute. This is by AD Knits. She's a local designer to me. She makes a ton of cute stuff. I have a lot of her stuff because I always see her at fiber festivals, and it's really hard to resist her little stickers and notions. So definitely check her out, especially if you're local to DC like me. Okay, so those are all my whips. So now we can move on to finished objects. I do have two, and one of them I actually already gifted, so I'll insert some photos here. I knit the Violet Waffles beanie, which is a free pattern on Ravelry by Halldora J. It's just a really simple waffle stitch beanie, worsted weight yarn. I would say this is like my most used pattern for gift knits. So if you're looking for a good gift knit pattern for this kind of upcoming season, definitely check that pattern out. It's super straightforward, just really nice, quick pattern to gift. So I knit this hat out of worsted weight vintage, which is Berroco. It's Berroco yarn. It's a wool, acrylic, and nylon blend. So again, great for gifts because it's completely machine washable. And then I did stripe in some speckles, which was just like a random worsted weight scrap I had gotten. It's from Dancing Leaf Farm, which is another local to me dyer in Maryland. She's got really beautiful stuff, and she sometimes has like a little scrap bin at her open house events, so I just grabbed a little gray out of there, and I decided to use it for this hat. So I'm really happy with this hat. I ended up gifting it to my boyfriend. I was making it for him for Christmas, and then it got real cold here in DC, so I just kind of gave it to him early. But he wears it almost every day, which makes me really happy, and I love seeing my knits get used and worn. When I first started knitting, I really struggled with kind of like using my knits and wearing them and being too precious with them because I was so worried something would happen. Now I kind of realize the worst thing that could happen is that it gets a hole or a stain, and I repair it because I can do that because I'm a knitter. So I am actually now leaning more towards feeling excited for some of my socks to get holes so I can learn how to darn, because it feels really good to use and wear the things you've made. And I really like kind of being proud of the stuff I've worked on. It's really different kind of path through my knitting journey than where I was a year ago, which is really cool. So I have one more FO, which is my Christmas gifting project for my mother, so hopefully she's not watching. This is the Litha shawl. It is knit in Madeline Tosh Merino Light, again, the same as the sweater I'm wearing right now, and it's a really pretty shawl. It's got these little flowers that change into raindrops, that change into sunbeams, and it's inspired by the solstice. So this was a pattern by Laura of Fox and Honey Fibres. She's a friend of mine on Instagram, and I test knit this pattern for her, I guess like about 18 months ago now, and I thought it would be great to gift my mom another one of these. And I used about 140 grams of yarn to get this size, which is a pretty generous size. So I'm so happy this is done. It took forever, but it's really gonna be, I think, a great gift. And the color is awesome. The color is Dubrovnik, so like a dark bluey, blacky grayish green. Yeah, so Laura has a lot of beautiful patterns. Definitely check out her Instagram. She makes such beautiful things, including this pattern. So I was really lucky to test knit for her. So that kind of wraps up all of my projects. Thanks so much for watching. I'm so happy to be back on YouTube and back sharing with everyone, and definitely look for my next video, which will be everything I made in 2022, because I have a lot to catch y'all up on about what I've made. I've made so much stuff this year. I'm so happy. So definitely follow me on Instagram, like, subscribe, let me know what you thought of my return to YouTube. I'm really happy to be here. And let me know if you're local to the DMV too. I'd love to meet up. Yeah, thanks so much for watching.